Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. So guys, I see that Kenny Porter's coming under a lot of criticism from some of the boxing fans and some of the um, you know guys on social media and stuff, saying that giving Kenny Porter a lot of stick, and saying that the fight was stopped prematurely. Kenny Porter should have let the fight go on. Guys, before we get into this video, smash the like button. Let's hit the like button and let's get as many likes as possible on this video. And here's my take on what I think. Firstly, Kenny Porter is the dad of Shawn Porter. So he's seen Shawn Porter box since he was a young kid, right? He's seen Shawn Porter, grow into a great fighter as he's got older. And he's been watching Shawn Porter since he was young. Now, Shawn Porter's known as a guy with a very good chin, with a granite chin. He's been down a couple of times, but he gets back up and his legs always look fine and he gets through the fight. However, in this fight, I noticed something. When he went down the first time, I feel like he was hurt. I think the first knockdown really affected him. He got caught, with a huge uppercut, and he was definitely not steady. You could tell he was, but he was trying to recuperate and get himself back together again. However, when he went back to this, when he got hit with this with the looping right hook, right? I believe it was a looping right hook from Terence Crawford. He went down and then he started smashing the floor, with his hands. He started hitting the floor. He got back up and as he was getting back up, he was unsteady on his legs. Now, I've never seen that from Shawn Porter before. Even when he got knocked down against Errol Spence, Broner, he's always got back up and his legs have always looked stable. His legs had never looked wobbly. Here, his legs look wobbly. I believe his dad saw his body language and saw the way he was moving. And like I said, his dad has seen him throughout his boxing career. His dad's been his trainer. He probably saw that something's off, something's not right here. So that's his son at the end of the day. So he stepped in and thought, I'm not letting him carry on because he's about to get knocked out badly here. And that's why his dad stopped the fight. His dad also said after the fight that, the preparation wasn't great. And he basically kind of said that Porter kind of made him sound like he thinks he knows it all now. And the fact that Shawn Porter has decided to retire probably tells you that Shawn Porter, unfortunately, he's probably not that same guy. Not same guy. I don't want to take away from Crawford's performance. Crawford is the first guy to stop Porter, and Porter was doing really well in the fight. I know Sergio Mora said, well, why did you stop basically saying the preparation, it was a close fight. But the fact is that down the stretch, you always knew Crawford would come in his own, and he did. Crawford makes very good adjustments, and he did. And he caught Porter. And I said that Porter makes a lot of mistakes. He lunges in. He's a bit reckless. And against someone like Terence Crawford, it's very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And remember, he got caught in the 10th round, so fatigue would have been setting in. And I think if his father had let the fight go on, I believe Terence Crawford was about to knock him out badly. And I don't think his dad wanted to see that. So his dad pulled the plug, but his dad knew what was coming. You see, the fans, boxing fans, they want to see a guy go out on his shield. But when your dad's in the corner, your dad doesn't want to see you go out on your shield. He doesn't want to see you knocked out. So he basically saved Shawn from further damage because Shawn Porter wasn't going to win that fight. That fight was only heading one way, and that fight was heading in the direction of Crawford knocking him out. Porter wouldn't have even you could tell his legs were badly wobbled, shaken, and he was about to, for me, and remember there was about 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the round. So Crawford had 1 minute and 40 seconds with a hurt Shawn Porter, his legs wobbling, him not in a great way against a guy that's got really fast hands, a guy that's got serious power and great timing. Yeah, I think his dad made the right call. Some people see it another way. I don't. Shawn Porter wanted to go on. Shawn Porter's a proper fighting man. He'd want to go on in any situation. But you could tell from his body language. Like I said, I've seen all of Shawn Porter's fights. Never seen his legs like that. Even against Errol Spence. And Errol Spence's left hand that hit Porter was a big shot. Porter got right back up. And Porter was screaming at Spence, let's go. Let's go, if you remember. Here, although he was doing the same and he was banging the canvas with his gloves, it's just when he got up, he didn't look right. Even his eyes, you could tell his eyes didn't look right. And that's what his dad saw. And that's why his dad stopped the fight. His dad, listen, why would his dad stop the fight if he thought that his son could win the fight? He knew his son couldn't win the fight. He knew he was just now in there just to take further punishment. There was 1 minute and 40 seconds left in that round. So his dad knew that this is only going in one direction. His dad made the right call. It's the fans that are ruthless, that don't see a trainer's see it from a trainer or a father's perspective, because he was about to get put out. You know, you could tell. I've seen all of Shawn Porter's fights. I've never seen his legs that wobbly. I've never seen his body struggling like that. When he went down the second time, he wasn't in a right way. Now, you could probably argue that maybe his dad should have let it go on a little bit more. And if he saw that his son took another couple of shots, thrown in the towel. But those next couple of shots, how do you know if Terence Crawford landed another couple of shots and that knocked him cold and Kenny Porter was thinking about stopping the fight, and his son got damaged, he'll never be able to live rest of his life peacefully. So to be honest, I think the right call was made, because I've had these discussions with like my family, my dad, my brothers and stuff. When a guy can no longer win the fight, what's the point of him being in there? Especially a guy like Shawn Porter, who's a competitor. Shawn Porter's not a journeyman or a gatekeeper. Shawn Porter is a world-class fighter. So if he can no longer win the fight, what's he in the fight for? If you're just taking punishment, and he wasn't taking punishment in that fight. He was very competitive. You could even make a case Porter might have been winning that fight. But the point I'm trying to make is that there was 1 minute and 40 seconds left in that round, and there was 2 rounds left after that. I can understand if it was the last round and it was a close fight and Porter was about to win, he could have won. Then I can understand people giving his dad, but there was 2 rounds left and your son, like, his body's all over the place, his legs aren't right, there's 1 minute 40 seconds left in the round, and then you got Terence Crawford on the other side. Like that, yeah, I think the right decision was made, because I think it was basically what his dad stopped is his son getting knocked out badly. That's what I think his dad stopped. That's what I think his dad stopped. I don't believe Porter was going to come back from that. He wasn't going to come back from that. Like I said, you've never seen Shawn Porter down twice in a round before. Normally Shawn Porter goes down, but he's able to get himself together. You look at the first knockdown, Shawn Porter didn't look right. The way he was fighting, you could tell he was unsteady. He was even backing up. He didn't look right. And then even, he got caught with quite a big right hand. But that, Shawn Porter probably would take that normally. But because he was still stunned and still a bit all over the place, that right hand had a massive impact on him, but he just wasn't right. When he was trying to get back up, he wasn't right, and I think his dad saw that, and that's why his dad, stopped the fight. And I think it was right decision. I do. I think it was a right decision. So I don't know why he's getting criticized. I can see from a fan's perspective that, are ruthless and want to see a guy be put out, At the end of the day, the trainer's job is to save their fighter for another day when they feel that their fighter can no longer win the fight. And the main thing is what you got to ask yourself from that position, could you see Shawn Porter winning the fight? And the answer's no. The answer's no. Shawn Porter wasn't going to win the fight from that position. So then I ask you, what's he in there for? To show that, he can take punishment or to go out on his shield? No. Shawn Porter would have gone out on his shield without question, because Shawn Porter's got a warrior's heart. You could tell even when he got put down the second time. Look at the way he was banging the canvas. He was so disappointed and so angry, right? But that's the warrior instinct in Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is a warrior. He's a warrior, man. You know, when fighters are warriors, right, it really hurts losing. It really hurts. I remember when Amir Khan got knocked out by Danny Garcia, and Amir Khan obviously was in the corner, and you know he was the referee was asking him, "Are you okay?" And he was nodding, "Yes, I'm okay." And then Kenny Bayless stopped the fight, and Amir Khan literally grabbed Kenny Porter and said, "Please don't stop the fight. Please don't stop the fight. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay." He was so like as a Khan fan, that was like, you know, heartbreaking, because you could see how much it meant to him. Hence why when I seen him fight Crawford, I realized that this isn't the same Khan anymore. Because when he lost to Danny Garcia, I saw how much it meant to him. I saw that there was no quit in him. There was no quit. He wanted to continue. Even though he had been dropped multiple times, he wanted to continue. He was pleading with the referee, "Please stop it," because that's how fighters are. They're warriors. They don't want to quit. They want to keep going. And Porter's like that. Porter didn't want to quit. And that's why he was disgusted when his dad stopped the fight. But his dad saw what was coming. His dad saw the writing was on the wall. And he made the right decision. You know, I believe it was a correct decision. You know, I believe it was a correct decision. And hopefully, you know, Shawn Porter's now retired from boxing. What a career. You know, a great fighter. You know, if every fighter was like Shawn Porter and had the mentality like Shawn Porter and ducked literally no one, boxing would be in such a great place. You know, Shawn Porter deserves a lot of credit. You know, he's a great fighter. Great fighter. And a great man as well. Like I said, he's a proper fighting man. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Porter in the sense that he had a good style, but I felt, you know, he had few weaknesses. But every fighter has weaknesses. But what Porter, you know, where Porter's won my heart over is the fact that Porter would literally fight anyone. He's literally fought every top welterweight of his era now. Everyone. And he was still, let's be honest, competitive in this fight. Porter's a proper fighting man. Proper fighting man. You know, and if his... the legacy that Shawn Porter's left is, don't worry about the losses. Don't worry about your Don't worry about all of that stuff. Worry about getting in the ring and fighting all the best fighters in your era. Because when you're a great fighter like Shawn Porter, you leave a legacy behind. And that legacy is, this guy was a warrior. He fought all comers. He didn't duck no challenge. He put it on the line. He won some, he lost some. But he put it all on the line every time he fought, and he fought everybody. That's the legacy that Shawn Porter's left. And that's the kind of legacy that every fighter... Yeah, I'm not saying you want to lose any fights, but the fact is, if you fight enough top competition and you fight enough top fighters, you will lose. You will lose. Imagine, look how many great fighters that Shawn Porter's fought. Paulie Malignaggi, Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Terence Crawford, Kell Brook, Devin Alexander, Andre Berto. Who has a resume like that? You tell me, who has a resume like that? Julio Diaz. You know, he drew with Julio Diaz and then he beat him the second time. What I'm trying to say, like, who has a resume like that? Very few and far between, because Porter was never afraid of ducking a challenge. And people like the young kids, like your young kids coming up, they need to take a lesson from Shawn Porter and behave like Shawn Porter. You know, because Porter's a great example of a guy that's he'll fight anyone. He'll fight anyone. And if there was more fighters like Shawn Porter, wow, boxing would be in a great place. Boxing would be in a great place if we had more people with the mindset of Shawn Porter. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.